Good morning, everyone. Om Shanti. I hope I'm clearly audible to all.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. So today's Murli is the revised Murli of 1st of September 1975. And the title of the Murli is Close and Equal, Subtle and Great. So here Baba has told us in
Om
this Murli.
Shanti Reshmiben.
Yeah,
Reshmiben, the Murli that we are doing today is 2nd September 1975.
okay. Just a minute. Just give me a moment. Can you repeat the date and send it to me, Rakiben? The date, can you just tell me?
2nd September 1975. The Murli just next to this on the PDF.
Has a right to the kingdom of the golden aged world. Do all of you children consider yourself to be seated on the Trimurti throne? Today's gathering is of those who are seated on the Trimurti throne. Do you know your Trimurti throne? One is the throne of the forehead of the soul, the immortal stage. The second is the throne of the world, and the third is the most elevated heart throne of Bab Dada. So the first throne, Baba says, the forehead of the soul, the immortal stage. The second is the throne of the world, and the throne and the heart throne of Bab Dada is the third throne. Do you know all about them? Do each one of you experience yourself to be seated on all three thrones, or each one of you experience yourself to be seated on all three thrones, or do you only know about them? So Baba is here asking us to check whether we have real experience, how exactly does it feel when we stabilize ourselves in our immortal stage, or when we visualize ourselves running the kingdom in Satyug, or when we stabilize ourselves in Bab Dada's heart throne, where me and Baba are one. Or Baba says that we only have the information of all these three thrones. Are you just an embodiment of knowledge, or are you also an embodiment of experience? I, the elevated soul, have been seated on these thrones many times. Do you experience the awareness of many times so clearly and easily that it is as if it were the present time? So Baba says the practice should be in such a way that it is not something to be felt, that it is something new to us. It is something abstract to us, which is not to be felt, which is not accessible. Instead, Baba says that it should be so clearly. We should experience the awareness of many times so clearly and easily that as if it were the present time. Not that it is a matter of some time ago, but the present time. Those who do experience this are extremely loved and are extremely close to Bab Dada. Those who do experience this are extremely loved and are extremely close to Bab Dada. The basis of all these thrones is to be seated on Bab Dada's heart throne. Do you know what the main means is for this? It is an easy method. What is the method? Being on the heart throne. Those who are seated on the heart throne themselves know very well which children are loved the most by Bab Dada. What do the people of the world know of the Father, of God? The God is truth. They consider the truth to be God. Bab Dada relates to you the story of the true Narayan, and he establishes the age of truth. So, since the Father plays the practical part of being the true Father, the true teacher, and the true Guru, what would he love the most? Since Baba have played the three roles, the true Father, true teacher, and true Guru, he loved the most the truthfulness. Wherever there is honesty, that is, he loved. Wherever there is truth, there will definitely also be cleanliness there. Wherever there is honesty, that is, wherever there is truth, there will definitely also be cleanliness there. Sachai or Safai, and then Satyata. It is also remembered the Lord is pleased with an honest heart. Those who are seated on heart throne are definitely serviceable. But the sign of those who are serviceable is that they would have honesty and cleanliness in their relationship and connection. Baba says, The sign of those who are serviceable, those who are sitting at Baba's heart throne are serviceable, and the sign of the serviceable souls is honesty and cleanliness in their relationship and connections with God. It would be visible in their every thought and word. That is, every thought of such an elevated soul seated on the heart throne would be truthful. Their every word would be true. True means it would be filled with truth, and true means it would be successful. That is, no thought or word would be ordinary or wasteful. Their vocabulary will be Baba's vocabulary. What Baba speaks, they also speak the same. There will be no difference. And Baba says that when their words are filled with truth, that is success. And there will be no ordinary or wasteful. They would be so serviceable that in every step, at every moment in their vision, they would only see altruistic service for the souls. While asleep, they would be thinking of service. And while awake, and as they move around, they would be doing service. Even in their dreams, they would not have anything apart from service. Only such serviceable souls who are unshakable and tireless would be able to be seated on Bap Dada's heart throne. Do you now understand what their sign is? To claim the throne of the kingdom of the world is guaranteed for such souls who are seated on the heart throne. Just as you have to book a seat in advance, in the same way the throne of the kingdom is fixed for a cycle after cycle. There could never be any thought as to whether the children who make the elements subservient to them and who become victorious would claim a right to the kingdom of the world or not. There could never be any thought as to whether the children who make the elements subservient, Prakriti Jeet, to them and who become victorious would claim a right to the kingdom of the world or not. The elements are constantly bowing in front of and behind such victorious masters as their servants. The elements constantly salute them. At every moment, a servant would be in front of an elevated soul as his server. Are you able to see this elevated form of yours? At the moment, the elements are waiting for you in order to serve their master. Even the ocean and the land are making themselves complete in order to serve the master of the world. You see their preparation, do you not? The devotees are invoking you with great force while worshipping gods, goddesses, the Shaktis, and the form of saligrams. They even renounce their most their most loved sleep and cry out. um, just a minute, just a minute. Those who can experience this, no, just a minute, okay? I think some lines were missing. Just give me 1 minute, please. They even renounce their most loved sleep and cry out loudly while invoking you, wondering when their special deities, the bestowers of blessings, the great donor souls will hear them. They wonder when they will have their attainment from not having any attainment. In the same way, because the time is now so close, together with the devotees, even the elements are now invoking you and wondering when their Satopradhan masters will be pleased with them. As soon as you begin to rule, the elements will adopt their Satopradhan costume. Are you able to see and hear the elements and the devotees invoking you? Together with this too, invoking you, Bapdada on the other hand is also invoking you to become equal and perfect and become an angel. So not only devotees and the elements, but also Bapdada is invoking us to become equal and perfect, to be an angel, a resident of the subtle region and return home with the Father. Do you wish to return, or are you enjoying the confluence edge much more? Have you become ever ready? Are you constantly stable in fulfilling this promise? Wherever you place me, whichever form you place me in, and for however long you keep me there, that I will do. In how much time I will the spiritual military receive the last order? It will be an order of just 1 second. So see, at one side, Baba is telling to become the part of Baba's heart throne. We have to be serviceable. We have to think, we have to dream, we have to eat, we have to drink service all the time. At the same time, Baba is making us detached that whenever the call will come, we should be ever ready like a spiritual military. We should not be attached to the service at the same time. There are a lot of service. The element is invoking us. The deities are calling us. Baba is telling us, are you ready to go back to your original home, or we are enjoying here at Sangam Yug? So there should always be a balance. It will be an order of just the 1 second. You will not be given a warning an hour in advance, and this is why only 8 jewels emerge. You will not be given your paper after the date has been fixed for it. That is, whatever the date fixed within the drama is, you will not be told about that fixed date or that moment in advance. You will just be given an approximation. You will just be given an approximation. However, the last paper will be of just one question and 1 second. This is why children have to be ever ready. At every moment, check as to whether you have become complete in having both the power to back up and power to face. Power to back up and power to face, समेटने की शक्ति और सामना करने की शक्ति. You need to have the practice over a long period of time of using the power to pack up. Do not start to pack up at the last moment, otherwise your time would finish in just packing up. The task of packing up should now be completed. Only then will you be able to fulfill the promise you have made. Having one strength and one support, constantly eating with you, sitting with you, speaking to you, and listening to you. एक पल, एक भरोसा. It shouldn't be that you speak and listen to him for 8 hours and that the rest of the time you spend in speaking to and listening to souls. Your promise is for all the time. So do not be clever in this. So Baba wants our complete honesty into that, that no matter whether we are dealing with something, dealing with work, talking to someone, whatever work we are doing, there should not be the consciousness of work, consciousness of, which is known to be kartapan. There should a lot of consciousness of work when we are really working something with the full focus. Baba is that time not remembered to us. I think we have achieved into that stage that whenever we are talking to someone, till then we are aware of our stage. But sometimes when we are doing something with full concentration, Baba is many times uh, forgotten. So that is what Baba says, that do not put in front of the Father as a lawyer the points that he has given you. At Amrit Vela, many come to Baba as lawyers. Hey, Baba, this happened, and how could I do this? How can I do this? That is why it happened. So Baba says, do not come during Amrit Vela as a lawyer. There will be no practice of lawyers in the golden age, because always Baba says, no matter what, you still cannot take a law in your hand. Therefore, do not cause such mischief in front of Bap Dada. Instead of being a lawyer, be a judge. However, a judge of what? Be your own judge, not of someone else. Having seen the unique games of the children at Amrit Vela, Bap Dada remains amused throughout the day. The pose and position of each one at the time is worth taking a picture of. If you could see yourself as detached observer for even one day, you would be very amused. Some even come as warriors. You use the weapons given to you by the Father against the Father. You say this, Gyan says this. So we say to Baba, Baba, you say this, Gyan says this. The Father just smiles and continues to observe your games. Instead of being warriors, become victorious, for only then will you be able to be seated on the Trimurti. You see that the moment we are in the stage of warrior, definitely we are, fighting against something, fighting against someone, fighting against some situation. So it is always something outside, something external. Instead, Baba is asking us to become victorious above everything, of everything. Do you understand? Acha. To such constantly victorious soul who fulfill all their promises, to the extremely loved souls who are close to Bap Dada, to the ones who make the elements their servant, and who also fulfill all the desire of the souls. To such elevated souls, Bap Dada's love, remembrance, and namaste. And from us children to our beloved Bap Dada, love, remembrance, and namaste. We'll take a 1 minute pause to it. we will start our journey for the day. An apology for for being delayed in between. Thank you. Whoever is ready can unmute yourself and we can start journey for the day. I'll share my screen once again. Yes, someone was muted. Please.
Om Shanti, sister.
Yes. Yeah.
So the most important part of the Murli, of course, is the Trimurti throne, the throne on the forehead of your self, the throne of the world, and the most important one, the throne of the heart throne of Bapdada. And what really touched me was the line where he says, and how do you get to that heart throne of Bapdada? Simply by knowing that God is truth. With truthfulness, with honesty and cleanliness in all relationships and connections, you will receive this heart throne of Bapdada. Om Shanti.
Beautiful, sister. Thank you.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
I like that aspect, I remember the words, Ishwar Satya hai, Satya hi Ishwar hai, Ishwari Sundar hai. I love that where Baba has emphasized on God is truth and truth is God for enabling me to sit on the heart throne. He's the true father. He's the true teacher. He's the true Sadguru. I think these three things, if we just imbibe within our heart, then just like Sache Dil Mein Sahib Raji, we can sit on his heart throne. I liked this Ishwari Satya hai, Satya Ishwar hai. It's emphasizing him in my heart. Om Shanti.
Yes, thank you, sister. Beautiful.
The point where Baba mentions today that are you just a knowledgeable soul, embodiment of knowledge, or you are an embodiment of experience? That's a very powerful reminder that Baba gives today, that you need to remember that you have done this before and you're going to be doing this now. So just be in that space of being an embodiment of dharana, be an embodiment of experience, not just being an embodiment of knowledge. That's the point to take away from option.
Om Shanti Rakhi.
Om Shanti, a wonderful Murli. I especially like this point that Baba is envisioning such a great elevated stage that where the five elements are waiting for as our servants, and the elements constantly salute we elevated souls, and the entire universe, entire cosmos is waiting for us for to obey our orders. But that will happen only when we are seated on the heart throne of Bab Dada. That's a most elevated stage. So I like this, and we can practice this. And we all must have experienced this some point or the other. That when we have this, when we create thought at that stage, then automatically things happen as that. Om Shanti.
Yeah, brother. Thank you.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
This Murli, again, this concept of 1 second has come, like it was in yesterday's Murli, that the last paper will be of just one question and 1 second. This is why children have to be ever ready. And in yesterday's Murli, Baba had said we have to be always ever ready. And for this, we need the power to pack up, which is very, very important to be ever ready. And Baba has also mentioned the power to face. So over here, I have a question that Baba has emerged this concept of lawyer and judge. So as we know in the worldly profession, it is the lawyers, the judge, they are connected with such and jhoot, the truth and the falsehood. So the last paragraph actually in which Baba is telling to be not to be a lawyer but to be a judge. Can anyone clear it a bit more? And then Baba has also mentioned about the warrior. Because
Anyone would like to answer sister's question? Yes, sister.
Because Baba always tells us we are on the battlefield, we are warriors. And in this Murli, Baba is saying that some even come as warriors. You use your weapons against the Father. So, yes.
Om Shanti. May I just elaborate on the second part, the warrior and by the word warrior means yudh. We are constantly, doubting our own capabilities, and we are fighting with Maya, because Maya is the opponent with whom we are fighting with. So if we devote all our efforts and all our the valuable time, if it is spent in fighting with Maya only, then that elevated stage of in being combined with Baba and experiencing Baba's powers and all, that will not happen. So Baba is expecting us to be beyond this constantly fighting with Maya, and be seated on the Trimurti heart throne and be victorious Mahavir stage. Om Shanti.
The Om Shanti, the lawyer and the judge path, which the sister was asking about. A lawyer always puts forth points in order to save his counsel from in order to give a good judgment. He actually, even the false as truth and the truth as false, that's what he does. So like when we are a thing, and because Baba is our beloved father, we just go and tell him, Baba, you only said this, Baba, I didn't know, Baba, knowledge said this, I didn't know. Like we just give excuses and all. So Baba is saying, don't come and tell me what I have to do. Don't be a lawyer and try to prove things against me. What I gave you as a weapon, you're using it against me. but instead become a judge. A judge has got that nirnay shakti, a power. He puts an end to all these excuses and says, yes, this is what is there. And the judge is not judging somebody else outside, judging situation, but judging myself. I think that was the churning in this Murli what Baba is saying.
Thank you, sister.
Do you get your answer, sister?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Om Shanti. I also liked to have Baba's company in every act which we perform the entire day, having one strength and one support, constantly eating with you, sitting with you, speaking to you, and listening to you. So by this, we are constantly, in companionship with Baba in our subtlety. And as it was brought out in, I think, yesterday's Sakar Murli, that create a small Baba's room. So that is not only in the physical world, but also in the subtle world, also in between the eyebrows. We can create a small Baba's room, very micro, where Baba's symbol is there. That and then we can constantly be going again and again and focus in between the eyebrows and sit in front of him and talk to him. Om Shanti.
Yes, lovely point. Thank you, brother, to bring this.
Sister, I just had a question for you. See, I love this first part of the Murli where Baba speaks about cleanliness, honesty, and truth. And in fact, if we go to Madhuban, that is the core thing in Dadi Janki's pillar, where there's cleanliness, honesty, and simplicity.
Yeah.
But in the later paragraph, Baba you souls are invoking you, Bab Dada is invoking you. You need two powers. I understood the power to pack up, why that is necessary. I'm talking about this Murli. But the power to face, I was trying to relate it to the previous paragraph. I couldn't get a proper churning on it. Could you please clarify?
Sure. So if you would see at which point Baba had used that. So we'll have to just see a few lines before that. However, the last paper will be of just one question and 1 second. This is why children have to be ever ready. At every moment, check us to whether you have become complete in having the power to back up and the power to face. So where do we use the power to face that we have to understand in our life, where we use the power to back up and where we use the power to face. I did remember once I was in Gurgaon in Shivani Ben's class, she raised this question and many of us could not answer it correctly because this clarity is not in our mind. So she asked that when you are suffering from some disease, which is the power that you will use? And I thought that will be the power to back up, sametne ki shakti, that I will not, for me, it was like that I will not let the people know that, okay, I have been suffering from something, or I will take it inside. So she said, no, there you have to use the power to face. So this is very much needed to have the clarity where we have to back up and where we have to face. We have to face people, we have to face the disease. हमें सामना करने की शक्ति आना चाहिए that okay, I will fight with that. Fight doesn't mean that I will struggle with something, but I will become victorious from it. I'll become victorious from it. Whatever is needed, whatever the treatment is required, I will go through the process. And at the end, I know that I will be victorious. And in between, whenever I will feel pain, I know that how to keep it inside me. But actually, this is called the power to face. Similarly, many a times we have the choice that better I will, if you are into some project or if you are into some seva, many people have the choice that better I will get the seva with this person. I better won't get the seva with those person, because we don't want to face them. We feel kind of a friction with them because we have the karmic account to be settled. Some past karmic account with the person we don't want to face. In our home, if we are in a joint family, we have few favorites and who are not very much favorite, whom we think that we will do kinara. We won't we wouldn't like to face them. So there the power to face should come, because we think that we will be irritated, we will be, there will be a vestige of time. There is nothing constructive, productive if we would start talking to them. But sometimes the situation creates in such a way in our life that we have to face that we cannot get away from it. That is why suffering, I mean, disease is the best example. We can get away from people, we can still get away from the situation, but when the situation comes with our health, something wrong with our health, we cannot get away from the situation. So there the power to face should come, and that will also help us to be ever ready. The more we are facing means we are okay with it. Yes, it has come, we will face, we will become victorious. But if we would put resistant, if we resist the situation, no, I don't want this, let it get over. When it will get over, it is prolonging. So this is the nature of a warrior, that I am not accepting the present moment. I'm too much into my future plan. I'm too much thinking about this is how it should be. I'm too much thinking about the perfection. No, but right now, the situation, which is maybe very chaotic, full of imperfection, it seems, but some kalyan, some benevolence is going to happen, and Baba is trying to teach me something. This is how we will be ever ready. That is why after this line, Baba has asked us to check this true power. That is what I feel, sister. You can think more of it, other can think more of it, maybe. Baba's each line,
Thank you,
we
sister.
can do the
Because I
PhD.
just thought power to. Thank you very much.
Mhm. Thank you, Baba. Anyone else would like to share?
Yeah. Om Shanti, sister. Just one thought that came to my mind, which I would like to share. When Baba initially spoke about God is truth, and the sister also very nicely reminded about that Ishwar Satya hai and Satya hi Shiv hai. I also just got reminded, even in the Sikh prayers, if you read the line which is written in the Murli, that the Bap Dada's true age of truth is the age of the Guru, the Father, the teacher. I got reminded, one, of Vaheguru, and two, of Satnam. Because God is truth is actually the meaning of Satnam. And Vaheguru is the ultimate Guru, the Guru of gods, actually, the Guru above everyone, the teacher, the master who cannot be described. And I was just thinking about that and thinking of Ishwar Satya Hai, and I'm thinking through the yugs in different forms and different ways, how we are being reminded constantly about the one and only. So it really touched my heart. Om Shanti.
Thank you, sister. Thank you for explaining so nicely.
Anushanti. So, in this power to face, the few lines above, Baba is explaining about the concept of time and date. So, when the thing of time, to manage time properly, the biggest hurdle that comes is the distractions. And sometimes our own sanskars, our own thoughts become the biggest distraction. It is very, very subtle, very subtle. We have to face those distractions, because in this Murli, yesterday's Murli, Baba completely prepared us that what is to be ever ready, always ever ready. And in this Murli, it's kind of an extension that, of course, we need the power to pack up, but we also need the power to face the distractions, the pulls. See, sometimes when we are sitting that this 1 hour, I will be in meditation, I will be reading or doing something with full concentration. But we know how many times we get distracted. It is so very subtle. So we need the power to face these subtle distractions. So power to face is also needed for facing what, as you mentioned, sister, and also these pulls, a thought, even one thought of one in this last paper, one subtle thought of some bodily being, we are going to fail. So that is the level of distraction management we need. That there is where we need the power to face.
Yes, sister. Thank you for taking it into that perspective. As I said, that you can explain it so many ways. Yes. As Baba says, Suksham Pap, Suksham Apavitrita. So these are what you just explained. The distraction, what is pulling me back from being stabilizing into that stage. That's wonderful.
Thank you, Baba.
So we will now move towards the meditation. We will take a silent meditation, and we will just churn that what we have heard from different churning, and we'll set the intention for the whole day. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We'll meet tomorrow at the same time. Om Shanti. Have a beautiful day ahead.
Om Shanti. Yes, Rakhiban, you can carry on.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Reshmi Ben. Thank you, Divine Family. We meet tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.